Good morning and welcome to Cover 2 Cook. We're on episode 133. We have college football and all-day college football atmosphere. We're going to talk about some of the must-watch games of that. Also, we have an NFL-packed Sunday that we're going to talk about as well. We are recording on Thursday, September 11th. So we do want to take a moment to talk about that as 24 years have gone by. And then we're going to finish with Tim's bets. We'll give his overall record and what he is betting this weekend. So let's get it started.
Yeah. I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Socks.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here for Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
Welcome back to Cover 2 Cook, episode 133. I'm joined here today with Anthony. And today we wanted to start today's podcast off with a little remembrance of 9/11, since that is when we are recording. So, Anthony, why don't you take us away with your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously 9/11 happened in 2001. I was in first grade when that moment happened. I remember coming back from PE class, sweaty, going to Mrs. White's room, and walking in there, and just the fact of the teachers are all in a group around a small little TV crying and stuff, and we're like, what is going on? We get sent home. And obviously as time has gone on, we grew up, we fully grasped that moment. We were young enough where we kind of didn't even understand what happened. But, we're coming off of today, September 11th, being 24 years since that moment. And, yesterday, with what situation happened yesterday, I feel like everyone remembers what September 12th felt like. And I was watching this on Pat McAfee everyone remembers what the day after September 11th felt like, of us coming together, but also mourning the moment that just happened the day before. And, I think coming off today of what happened yesterday, and when people invented social media, it wasn't to have that kind of power of being able to see something like that yesterday that we saw, a public execution. Nobody should go through a moment like that. I don't care what your beliefs are, how you look, whatever. So it's just a sad, I think today we're looking at what happened yesterday, but also trying to remember the people that we lost 24 years ago, because that was a huge moment in our lives. That was our big, I say me and Lisa's biggest moment. Obviously, we're not alive through Pearl Harbor and things like that, but this was a crazy moment. So just obviously want to remember, we'll never forget. That was the saying, and we'll never forget 9/11. And we're taking a moment today to say we're not forgetting 9/11.
Yeah, I always like to take a moment and even just a couple minutes to just reflect. From what I can remember, I was in kindergarten, and I just remember they just kind of turned the TV on or a movie on, turn the lights off, and just kind of let us go. I don't remember if we went home early or not, but I just remember it was just everything was off day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was like a substitute teacher day almost, because the teachers were so wrapped up in that, obviously, and it makes sense. We would be the same way. I mean, yesterday, there was a 2-hour period where I felt like I couldn't get off my phone because of what happened yesterday. And I feel like that's where, and it's sad because it almost feels like that happens every day. And it's just social media brings everything to our attention so quickly. And it's very
and
sad.
No filter.
Yeah. And that was the worst part about yesterday, was the fact that video was going around. Is just, nobody should ever be a violence of that kind of situation, but also at the same time, you got to remember, we talk about this with athletes. Don't share when an athlete breaks a bone or tears something or something like that, because they have family members and they're seeing this as well. That was just one of those moments where absolutely disgusting and evil acts yesterday.
Yes, I totally agree. But let's move forward with talking about this.
Let's talk about some college football.
Impactful. Yes, we have some very exciting college football happening this weekend. And we have a couple of must-watch games. So, Anthony, walk me through this 11 a.m. game.
Yeah, so everyone talks about, college football is all day. I'm telling you, I can give you a game at every moment of that Saturday that makes you want to sit down. Great Saturday. We're starting with the 11 o'clock. Obviously, start at 8 o'clock, get college game day on you. But 11 o'clock, Clemson versus Georgia Tech. Clemson struggled these first 2 weeks coming out of the gates. I think when you look at it, they've struggled to run the ball, and that's their MO. Cade Klubnik gets the opportunities when the running game's going. The running game hasn't started yet. And I think the thing you got to talk about Clemson is this is not a young team, or this is not a young team. This is a team that came back to be good. So when we're talking about like when are their MOs, when are they going to start playing like they should, that should already be happening. That's a great thing about having an experienced team. This week, I think, determines like is this the Clemson we're going to know for the rest of the year, or is this a team that like the first couple weeks they just kind of needed to get it going? On the other side, Georgia Tech, it's Haynes King and a 2-0 record. They know that they can get going. They know their MO. They know their situation. Haynes King could put a game on his back to win a game, and I know Cade could do as well. I just think when it comes down to it, this game is close throughout the 4 quarters going to the end. Georgia Tech's a team that can win it at the end. Final thing I'll say too is Georgia Tech, beat a Colorado team at Colorado week 1. Good competition. This is obviously going to be a lot harder with Clemson. I think this is a great 11 o'clock game. Right off the bat, we're getting a great game. Could be an upset to start the day. I would enjoy that because I don't really like Clemson, but Cade Klubnik is hard to bet against him.
All right. Well, sounds like we got one game down that we'll be watching, at least one TV. Do we have another game going on at 2:30 we need to watch? Yes,
2:30. So 11 o'clock game's going to wrap up. 2:30 time now. Now you can put this one on the big screen. Georgia versus Tennessee. Georgia, Gunnar Stockton versus Joey Aguilar. Georgia's 8-0 versus Tennessee in the last 8 games. That is very surprising to me. I heard that stat. I did double check it. It was true. So don't be in my comments on that one. There was a time when Georgia couldn't beat Alabama. It felt like Alabama just had Georgia's number. Well, then finally Georgia gets on the other right side of that. This could be that for Tennessee. Can they get on the right side of Georgia now while Georgia's not the Georgia team that we think of? When teams are as close as they are on paper like this, I go to coaching. I like Kirby Smart. He's earned my respect over time. Georgia's going to have to get to Joey. Right, Joey Aguilar, the quarterback for Tennessee. They're going to have to get after him. They're going to make him have to question the 5-step drops because Tennessee wants to throw the ball and they want to throw it deep every play. So you need to get after him, have a great defense. Georgia always has a good defense. I don't think that's going to be a question. Now on the other side, what does Tennessee got to do to win this game? Tennessee is going to have to make Gunnar become more than who he is. We watched Notre Dame do that to him in the playoffs. And Gunnar struggled with how much pressure was getting brought to them. Tennessee has to do the same thing as well. I will say Gunnar of the playoffs and Gunnar of week 3 of this year is a whole different player because he's had time to get ready for this moment. This would be a great game. At Tennessee, it'll be hooting and it'll be hollering. People will have some little drinks in them. It'll be a great game for a 2:30 time.
Yeah, for some reason, I always feel like when there's like a Tennessee, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama game, like I get drawn to it because of that atmosphere and the competitiveness between them. I feel like there's that certain type of energy that catches my eye that like I feel like I'm always watching that type of game. So being on at 2:30, I think I can make that one work and watch that with you.
Yeah, and I will say to your point, like it used to be CBS. I don't think it is anymore, but it used to be CBS 2:30. Like it was just a great SEC game. It felt like the 11 o'clocks were never their thing, but that 2:30 slot was like always them. And I think this is a game that people are going to remember. I hope so. Because I think when you walk out of this game, you need to see that either Tennessee played up to who they were supposed to be and Georgia combated that, or it's one of those moments where we say, like kind of we did with USF and Florida last week, where we're like, Georgia just didn't show up. Or Tennessee didn't show up. I hope it's one of those games where we can walk back and be like, great SEC game.
Yeah, no, same, for sure. All right, well, am I done for the day, or is there any more that we need to be looking out for?
There's another good game at 3:30. So this is one where you got like one screen and then you throw on another one. USF versus Miami. USF is coming off beating Florida, but now taking on the other Florida school, Miami. USF did not look flashy against Florida. There was nothing that I was like, oh my gosh, this team can run the ball. This team can throw the ball. Nothing flashy. They just stayed in the game with Florida. It always did feel like Florida just couldn't wake up for this game. Well, that's not going to happen with Miami. Miami's not going to come in, and they know who they are. After beating Notre Dame week 1, beating a no-name week 2, this now leads them to beat up on USF. It's also hard when you go to Florida to beat Florida or to beat Florida University, and then now you're going to Miami to play them. A lot of great teams struggle doing this to come back-to-back weekends. USF is going to need to find a way to stay in this game and keep it close to the fourth and try to pull it out. On the other side of the ball, Miami needs to play their games and limit the turnovers. I might have given Carson Beck some shit after week 1, obviously beating Notre Dame, but he's played well, right? He hasn't had any turnovers. He's thrown the ball well. They got to get that run attack going. Carson Beck will pick you apart. I think when you look at this game, if Miami controls the line of scrimmage and runs the ball, limits the turnovers, they win this game easily. I think the point spread 17.5, which was the same as was last week with Florida. Miami's a lot different than Florida. It's just a whole different situation. I think Miami beats them by over 20. This is one of those games where USF, I wish they would have played them like maybe a couple weeks from now, so they would have had a little rest after Miami or Florida. But no, I think Miami handles this one.
So to me, it sounds like you're saying if Miami decides to have like a little cockiness to them and they're not playing to the game, USF can come in and sneak in that win again.
Oh, hell yeah. That's college football. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, if you don't show up to play, you ain't going to win a game. Like, it's just, and, they talk, well, that's the SEC. That's the Big 10. That's the Big 12. That's anywhere. You don't show up to play, you're going to get your ass beat. And that's what, honestly, that's the only way this game we come back on Sunday and we say, USF wins again. It's because Miami didn't play their game. If Miami plays their game, they win this one easily.
Okay. Well, I know that's not the last game. I know we got a night game. I know we got Notre Dame playing Texas A&M Saturday night.
Yes, we do.
I also know that Notre Dame needs to start running the ball better, getting in the hands of Jeremiah Love.
Mm-hmm.
And I also know that they have to control the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
And I also know this needs to be a big win for Notre Dame.
I will tell you right now, Lisa, 30 is looking good on you right there. I will say, yes, everything you've said is 100% accurate. The Notre Dame game is going to be on the big screen at 6:30. There's a couple other night games, but this one is the one. Like you said, they have to start out better than they did against Miami, right? They have to play better than that. Run the damn ball. Jeremiah Love is not a Heisman candidate for no reason. The man can run the ball. Offensive line, you need to be more physical, right? Just have to be more physical. And you said it right at the end. They got to win. They got to win for multiple reasons because I would like to be happy on a Saturday night going into Sunday.
Yeah, no kidding.
And also, 0-2 is going to be hard to get back into that playoff talk. I don't care if you win out. That 2 losses against 2 actual competitive teams. If you can't beat them, I don't think you deserve to be in there. Now, when we look at Texas A&M, they kind of have the same MO as Notre Dame. They want to be more physical than you. They want to run the ball, and they want to play good defense. Well, guess what? That is Notre Dame as well. So two big teams going at it is going to be a great game. I think CJ Carr just doesn't need to do too much, right? That first Miami game, we were like, okay, he picked it up. Like, he was the actual good moments of Notre Dame's game.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need that this game. Just run the ball, let him make the passes that need to be made when they need to be made, and then move on. On the other side of the ball, Marcel Reed, 7 touchdowns to start off the season. Damn, okay. Marcel Reed is the quarterback that I will say has wheels. So we have to not just be worried about the pass. We got to be worried about him coming out of the pocket to run the ball. Texas A&M has to be more physical and make Carr be something else than he is. That's how they win this game. That's how they come into Notre Dame. I think also if they limit the turnovers, they'll keep the crowd out of it. I will say as a Notre Dame fan, I love going to a Notre Dame big-time game. But it always does kind of feel like it's a little bit of the other team coming, bringing the bandwagon. It just – I hope that this new revolution of Notre Dame being good is going to be a Notre Dame crowd. But there's been times where I've been to Notre Dame games where it's like Ohio State or Georgia or something like that. There's a lot of red, right? That can't be this game. If they can get the crowd out of this game, I think Texas A&M can win it because on paper they are as good as Notre Dame. I will say at the same time, Marcus Freeman, get these boys ready. Come on. I need to end Saturday night with a win. I cannot take a loss. I had to do that on Sunday night or Labor Day weekend. I can't do that come on. Just let's win this one for the boys, all right? But yeah, that's probably the most important must-watch game. But you either love or hate Notre Dame, and we love them, so yeah, that's a must-watch.
Well, I know it'll be a very intense Saturday just to wake up early Sunday morning and
Yes.
put on all of our next section here. We're going to go into NFL and we're going to talk about those must-watch games. Anthony, what is our first game?
Yeah, and I just want to start real quick. You are sounding like as if you don't love this. You secretly love this because you at the same time, yes, your husband is distracted with football. At the same time, too, it's like one less kid you have to worry about in the house, right? It's just
is
one
that
person.
so?
He sits on the couch. He gets his own food. He goes to the bathroom by himself. He handles everything by himself. I don't know. I don't get all this.
Does he get his own food? Does he fill his own water?
I mean,
Does
if
he
you're
let
up,
the dog out?
if you're up, I mean, I don't see why but yes, okay. Back to this NFL must watch on Sunday. Obviously, you got to start with the fantasy. I'm 1-0. I'm gonna try to keep that going. But Sunday we have Jacksonville versus Bengals. Two 1-0 teams. Crazy about that. Jags game was kind of tough to watch last week because of the weather implications. It kind of felt like 8 hours. Red Zone kind of didn't even know what to do with it. They were like, wait, they're still playing this third quarter. Afternoon games are starting. Bengals game was kind of tough to watch because the Bengals played the Browns and they barely won this game. This has to be better. I think it's really important for Bengals to start off this game strong. When they start out strong and they have to end the game, that's their kryptonite, right? Running the ball. They have to get the run going against a Jags defense that did not allow many running yards for Tony Pollard the week before. I think when you look at this as well, on the other side, Jags have to get after Burrow. Cleveland had great success with Myles Garrett getting after him. Obviously, the Jags don't really have a guy like Myles Garrett because there's not many Myles Garretts in the NFL. But get after him. Get pressures on Joe Burrow. Do not let him sit back there. They have way too much money in the wide receivers to be able to throw the ball. Get after him. I think on the offensive side for Jaguars, do your thing, right? Keep.
I would say that they need to involve Travis Hunter. I think that Trevor needs to take good care of Travis Hunter.
Yeah, you need to stay off social media right there. No, I think Travis Hunter is obviously, yes, optimal in the offense. I would like to see what they're going to do for his pitch count or play count for offense defense. This could be one of those ones where you see him on both like he was. So, but the other thing too I would say about this game is if they can get the running attack going for the Bengals, they are a scary team because they didn't even really put up a fight last week. Not many players had good yards. Jamar Chase didn't have a good game. T. Higgins didn't have a great game. And they still won a game against the Browns, right? You will not win that Jags game if you put up the same performance. But I don't see that happening. I think the Bengals take this one.
Well, yeah, and you know me, I'm a Joey girl, so yeah. I'm Bengals all the way.
Yeah, be easy on that Joey girl. That I don't like that. I didn't like how that one came off the tongue right there.
It's just how I always say his name.
Yeah, I know, but Joey's girl. I mean, come on now. But yes.
You're fine. I still wear my Vikings, so
yeah.
You're fine. You're fine. All right, take us into this next must-watch game.
Yes, Broncos versus Colts. I wish Timmy Cook was here to talk some of those Broncos. It's good to see them 1-0. Colts coming off of a week where they looked really good. Daniel Jones looked really good. Throwing, I think they scored on we said the first 7 drives or scored on every drive or something. They had some crazy stat that the Colts had done. It was also Miami, okay? So Denver's defense is a lot better than Miami's defense, okay? Denver's going to get after you. They did not allow many big plays. I think they had 6 sacks against Cam Ward and the Titans last week. They're going to get after your ass, okay? Jonathan Taylor is the player of this game, right? He has to be the most important. Can they get the running attack going so that it allows for the passing to open up? If the running attack doesn't get going, it's going to make Daniel Jones' life a lot harder than what it was the week before, okay? On the other side of the ball, Bo Nix. Come on, bud. Come on. We went 1-2 last week. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Cannot have to have that going forward. It has to be. I'll take an interception if you throw me 3 touchdowns, right? Not 1 touchdown. Okay? Can't have 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown. I think he fumbled the ball for a 3rd turnover. They have to be smart with the ball and limit the turnovers. You give Colts good field position, Jonathan Taylor's going to score. Daniel Jones can run the ball as well. You cannot allow that. Cortland Sutton has to be a big part of this game as well, only because he's on my fantasy team. Obviously, I don't even really know if that matters for their offense. Just throw him the ball so I can get some fantasy points. These teams are both 1-0 as well. I will say I think the Denver comes into Indianapolis, wins this game, and walks away. I just think it was a poor performance on week 1. I don't think it's who the Broncos are going to be for the future.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see what Tim's reaction is to all of this when he comes back. Take us into this last must-watch game.
Yes, it's not Sunday night. It's just an afternoon game. Eagles versus Chiefs. It's a Super Bowl from last year, obviously. Jalen and Saquon, a combo that is just absolutely amazing. Definitely. It is great. I will say that we saw it all last year, and we saw it week one. When you look at this, though, A.J. Brown did not get any targets in the first half of last week's game. He didn't really get many targets or many catches at all. I do see that changing in this week. I think they're going to throw the ball a little bit harder. You know, it doesn't need to be Saquon running the ball 30 times every game. It doesn't need to be that way. They can throw the ball. They got Devontae Smith. They got Goddard. I think he's playing. A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts has got an arm. He's a smart quarterback. Throw the ball. I would like to see if A.J. Brown does get some more because I did see a lot of fantasy people being a little pissed off. On the other side, Chiefs are going to struggle without Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy is the guy that takes the top off, allows you to dink and doink through the game. Now you're going to have to dink and doink. I think you're going to see a lot more 12 personnel coming out of the Chiefs, meaning they're going to have a couple tight ends out there. I think your tight ends are going to be the ones scoring touchdowns. Might be someone to look at on the fantasy wise. And that opens up to Pacheco. Pacheco has to run the ball. I love how he runs the ball. He runs like he's mad at the ground. But they have to be able to open the run up to open up play action. It's just so sad because I think we're 4 or 5 years post Tyreek being in the Chiefs organization, and that offense was just so fun to watch. They were just so good, and I feel like we're not getting the best out of Patrick Mahomes out of these past couple years. Now, one thing I will say though, Patrick Mahomes, if you're running towards the sideline and you slow down and lower your shoulder and take out another DB, I will take your knees out. That is crazy. You cannot have it both ways, bud. You cannot have it where last year in the playoffs, he's running out of bounds. He gets pushed and he falls down. He's like, oh my gosh. And then at the same time, this last week, he's jogging to the sideline. DB pulls up because I ain't getting no penalty and gets absolutely trucked. Not a good look. I like Patrick Mahomes, but shit like that doesn't sit well with me. I think the Chiefs handle this one. I'm sorry, the Eagles handle this one. I think the Chiefs are going to have a long road ahead for this offense.
Really? You don't think that the rematch of the Super Bowl, them feeling like they, have something to stand on, might take away the Chiefs, take them to the victory on this one?
Yeah, you can have all the bulletin board material. You can have all the motivation you want. But when you look at it on paper, I just think the Eagles are just fundamentally every position up. I may give them a quarterback, the Chiefs, because Patrick Mahomes, I do think is better than Jalen Hurts. But name me another position. I truly think when you look at how good the Eagles are, they went belt to ass in the Super Bowl. Just belt to ass. And if you watch the things now, they were like, watch this, we're going to do this. And they throw a deep ball to Devontae and score a touch. Like, the coach is like, watch this. They're just toying with them in the Super Bowl. I will say I think that's maybe what we're going to get, but it's a must-watch because it's a Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah, for sure. I was curious, actually, since you brought up Xavier Worthy earlier, I was curious if you heard the comments that Travis had on his podcast regarding this.
Yeah, I did see that. What was your take from it? Because I know you saw it as well.
Yeah, I think the, apology is, humble. I think he means it. Like, he honestly didn't intend to do that. I think him explaining that the routes being almost a collision course already, any kind of miscalculation there could cause that. So I think that was good, explanation too of how do you not know where you're going? But that was kind of intentional in that sense. But what did you think?
Yeah, the route is a pick route, right? Travis is supposed to kind of run into the DB or vice versa. It makes it so that the defense kind of runs into each other, opens it up for Xavier Worthy. Their heads are down. They both just get absolutely drilled. I do believe, you call me a conspiracy theorist, I do, because Taylor said Xavier Worthy and Travis had to take his ass out. I get it, man. I get it. That's a hell of a retirement plan for a wife. The route is meant to be very close together. I don't think this is on Travis. I don't think it's on Xavier Worthy. It's just shit, man. It's just football, right?
Yeah.
Injuries happen. I will say, though, this injury is not a good one because a dislocated shoulder is going to lead to more problems. All it's going to take is another hard fall or hard tackle or whatever, going to extend for a ball that you're trying to catch. It's really bad because also at the same time, you don't have Rashid Rice. Because of his own dumb actions. Let's remember that, okay? His own dumb actions. Not because NFL did anything. So, again, another moment where if I was a teammate of his, I'm thinking, stay your ass at home because we need you more than ever now in this kind of situation. But
Yeah.
it always feels like Patrick Mahomes finds a way. You know what I mean? He'll make someone that's a no-name into something. So, Chiefs, if you need a tight end, your boy got freshly shaved for it. So,
and that's facts.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we did get a message from Tim with his bets. So last week he went 2 for 2 2 and 2 last week. So overall he is 4 and 5. But I don't understand when it comes to talking to these like the bets. So Anthony, what are his bets this week?
yeah. So not bad of a little record right now. Kind of struggled week 1. 2 and 2 is not bad, but for college football, he's got South Carolina giving 4 to Vanderbilt. I do think this is a great game. I don't like this bet for Mr. Timmy Cook over here. I don't know if I just the Vanderbilt. They find ways to just be tricky sometimes. You know what I mean? They're just like a wild card in Uno. You just like you don't know where this person's going to go with what the next color is going to be. But hey, Timmy likes it. So Oregon giving 28 to Northwestern. So obviously, if you are betting this game, you would have to go to a casino because you can't bet on your app with it being an Illinois school. But if you can find a way to put this one, he really likes it. I kind of like it as well. Oregon is trying to prove a point. They did last week by putting up all these points against Oklahoma State. They're going to do it again with Northwestern. Northwestern is not good. Not good at all. Tough look when you're trying to build a brand new million, billion, trillion-dollar stadium. But at the same time, 28 points is a lot of points. It's just a bad half away from that bet looking really dumb for Oregon or really bad at half of Northwestern and that bet looking really solid.
Is that at Oregon or is that?
Oh, no. That's at Northwestern. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a belt to the ass too. And you know what? As old season ticket holders for Northwestern, good luck. Good luck because that would be crazy if they could pull it up. But
Cats.
Yeah. Rawr. I like Timmy in this situation with the 28, giving 28. NFL on Sunday. He's got the Bears getting 6 from the Lions. I like it as well. I don't know where, yes, the Bears struggled after the first drive. They've had a lot of bad news coming through them this week. Obviously, people criticizing the coach, criticizing the players. Caleb Williams is getting dragged through the mud. That gives you all the motivation to come out there. This game is going to be a great game because there's been Lions fans that have been vocal about Ben Johnson. Not liking, the whole situation going down there. Ben Johnson's been pretty vocal about the Lions and stuff. This would be a great game. I do like it. I think this is one for the skipper. One for the skipper for the Bears. I think they could even upset the Lions in this game. So getting 6, definitely take that one.
Okay. You think we see any of his trick plays against their defense?
Oh, no. They just need to work on just running the ball up the middle, throwing the ball regular. No, they're not in the trick play mindset yet. No way.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, he could do something, but at the same time, I think you need to worry about what Caleb Williams can do after 15 plays. From second drive to the end of the game, what he can actually produce instead of being because all it's going to take is one trick play to go bad, and they're going to be obviously upset.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the final bet, he has Jags getting 5.5 against Bengals. I know that this line has been flipping and flopping all over. I've seen 5.5. I've seen 3.5. Depends on where you're going for this one. I agree with this one as well. Jags getting 5 against a Bengals team that just didn't look good last week. I mean, if it wasn't for the Browns, yes, I will say that any other team they would have played and they would have played that way, they would have lost. The Browns are the worst team in the NFL, and you barely sneak past from that. So, Jags getting 5. I could even see the Jags winning that game. So I like Timmy's bets this week. I think all 4 are pretty solid, except for maybe the first one is South Carolina. Watch, that'll be the one that he hits, obviously the best. But and we'll get Timmy back on Sunday because on Sunday we'll be coming back recapping this great college football Saturday, great NFL games on Sunday. And then we'll also talk about what's coming up Sunday night and Monday as well because we record before the Sunday night games. NFL, college football, Saturday, Sunday. But you know what? As much as there's great football, take your significant others out for dinner this weekend, okay? Don't make me be the only one that's doing that. You do it as well. Take them out. They will appreciate it. Might give you a couple more weeks of watching games without having to do many things, but do that this weekend, okay? A lot of great games. We want to thank everyone that does watch us. I hope you guys tune in to this episode and the future episodes. Subscribe as well. If you want more of us, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter, all of them, whatever you can name, we're on all of them. So we want to thank everyone. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your football. Again, take your spouses out, and we will see you on Monday.